Hi guys, so today I want to try out these Crafter's Companion decoupage sets. They're like Christmas related or holiday themed. I picked them up a little bit ago in a bundle and then some that were separate, so I don't know what I'm showing you right now because it might be that these words were separate from this part, but that's just how I picked them up. But I'll have them linked in the description box. Those will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. And these items you can find like, well, the ones I grabbed them on HSN, they have them on Craft Stash, and I'm sure Crafter's Companion themselves has them. And, you know, they sell out in the different styles and things like that. So for today, I'm going to use the word Noel. I think I used the word joy last time with the, like, poinsettia decoupage. As you can see, the poinsettia decoupage here, the example is on the Noel, but you can do whatever you want. And then I'm going to use this little candlelit Christmas decoupage. So all I'm going to use today, oh, I don't like when it gets destroyed like that, but oh well, what are you going to do? Sometimes it pops open just nicely and then you just have the thing. But anyway. We're going to use these dies. It does have the stamp set, and recently I did a little video on a Hunky Dory, that's what it was, oh, do I have it here? I don't know. Card where it's like an edge-it card, but anyway, I use the dies that are supposed to be decoupage dies with the stamp. So basically they give you stamps so you can recreate, you know, so they give you the stamp so you can recreate it as many times as you would like. Supposedly, I haven't been on Crafter's Companion site in a long time, but it used to be that you can download these images and keep printing them. I believe they still offer that. Obviously, you want to have a good printer, and then sometimes people ask me, I guess because they print on like A4 paper or it's not quite the right size. I don't know, guys. I am the worst at that. I have no idea. I would say just trial and error or like, I don't know how you can convert it to something else, but it seems most people work with it okay, so I don't know what that's about. I'm sorry. Maybe it depends if you get it from the US site or the UK site, the download. I don't know. I don't know if it's that picky. But it's interesting. It does say high quality photopolymer, which is good. So these are photopolymer stamps in here. But today all I'm going to do is grab one of these, and I think I'm going to make it into a shaker. So hopefully this doesn't take too long. It's just adding a couple extra steps to, you know, the decoupage and everything else. But what we're going to do is just take this. I haven't really seen the colorway on this. Like, it looks kind of soft, doesn't it? I mean, it does have a very white edge on this one. I'm trying to think what colors of paper I want to use for the paper base. Let me grab some papers that we're going to cut out our word first, the Noel. Because what happens in this, it doesn't cut the very top there, so it hinges for you, so it makes your card base. You can definitely just use this whole word. If you saw some of the examples that Crafter's Companion has with these guys, the cards are huge, because this is big already, you know? Let me give you a measurement. And so if you're going to put this on a card base, it's going to be a pretty good size card base. It's like 7 1/4, like what it cuts, by just over 4 inches in the depth, and then, you know, the different layers inside there. I love that this little O comes separate, because if you want to cut all the way through, so you're seeing all the way through your word like this, or maybe you don't want that, maybe you just want, or maybe you want the back to be full and not use that little circle. Oh, you know, I didn't think about that today. I think I'm still going to make a hole throughout the whole thing, but even though I want to make it a shaker, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. So what I'm going to do is grab a paper color for the card base. I guess I'll do white just because this is white, but I really want to do more like a creamy color, but that's okay. So we'll do that. And then we're going to use this middle piece also on that. And then the Noel, let's see. Oh, sorry guys. Oh, we can make it super shiny. Do we want it shiny, shiny? Because I have that red paper from Spellbinders that is gorgeous, but it is like metallic shiny, like super duper shiny. You know what? Let's go for it. So I'll be right back. Let's put some of these things to the side. Work on the card base first. I hope I don't misplace anything while I'm doing that. I mean, you know, you can just fold this wherever. I think we should probably bone fold it. And I've been using this scoreboard more and more because it's in a place where I can grab it easier. The other ones are kind of tucked into each other over here, so that's why I've been using that. But of course, you sort of be like, oh, I am going to redo the box tutorial on this scoreboard, because I know a lot of people do have like the Martha Stewart board or like the original boards that look like this, you know, the very old school, very basic. And I think that we're just going to do something different than what the instructions said for a box. But anyway, so I'm just looking at this. It looks like maybe, let's do it at 4 1/4, just to give ourselves a little bit of room. And that also means I can cut off that extra bit of my paper, but for now I'm just going to fold this over. I'll remove this. Now you can use your paper trimmer or whatever. I'm just going to cut it with scissors for now, because that's going to cut away anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's crooked. It seems very dark in here all of a sudden. Maybe it's just the, it's kind of a weird day. Okay, let's see. So again, you don't have to, you can put this right on the edge like this, but when you do that, you're going to end up with a little tiny lip. So I'm still going to kind of bring it up a little bit and see if I can get that positioned a little bit better than the last time when I used it. It looks like you can just put it on there, and you can. I mean, it's just going to have like a little thing. What do I have stuck on here? Hold on. Ugh. A little, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to bring it up just a little bit. And maybe you want that little piece, you know, poking up. I don't know. So let's do whatever you like. I know a lot of times people say, oh, I would have done this or that. That's what crafting is about. Do whatever you like. Okay, so I'm going to place this just so that I have a good idea of where this circle should go. Now if I have my word here, that looks pretty centered. I'm looking at all around, kind of splitting the difference. And then we have this part that we can tape into here. And I hope I have a piece. So that's going to be a very small opening. I'm only really trying to get the tape on there, not this other piece. Oh, sorry guys. A little loud there. It's a very small opening for a shaker, not gonna lie. The word joy, the O is way bigger. So, you know, it just depends on the word that you're using, because I know there are a few different words. But anyway, I'm gonna run this through my die cutting machine. And like I had mentioned earlier, this is about 4 inches. I want to see if it can fit through the marquee. Yeah, if you have the elongated cutting folder for the marquee, you're good to go. And if you don't, you can just run part of it through and then run the rest of it through. But if you have the elongated folder, hopefully you can see, that'll fit right in there, okay? So, I'll back the machine out. I should have mentioned this earlier, but anyway, I'm just going to run this die through this beautiful red paper. It's going to be gorgeous. So just the one piece of paper, and nothing funky about that. And then I'll remove these little pieces of tape carefully, and we'll have our card base. Okay, so I'll be right back. Oh my goodness. And I mean, you can drop shadow that. This stuff, it's not that it's delicate, it's just, it's very much like a metal. I don't know how to explain it. So like if I bend it, you're definitely going to get a little crease, and real bad even. So just you know, be careful with it. I am going to pop it up, so that's a little bit scary, because I'm going to keep it up on top like this. But you know what I'm going to do to enforce that a little bit more? I'm also going to run the word Noel through some black paper. Why not? So pause, because people love to drive cars that are super annoying sounding. Don't be one of those people. It's like, why? Like, I don't understand. But anyway, I'm going to just run this through to give it a nice drop shadow, a little oomph, and I'll be right back. I have these basic pieces, and we just have a little bit of work to do. And you know me, I will like trim this away and keep this piece in my little stash right here, because that paper's fancy, and I know I can use a little something probably in some kind of project. Okay. So what we're going to do with this guy and this guy is we're going to tape them, and you know what? I am going to put double-sided tape on this. And I'm going to drop shadow it, so it's not the biggest deal, but I am going to add the tape wherever I think would help. Now you guys know I like to use liquid glues, but for this one I'm going to use this stuff just in case. Oh, you know what? This is interesting now that I think about it. Since I'm deciding to drop shadow, I could put my acetate on this, I think. Let me think about this for 2 seconds. Let me frame this out a little bit and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just ran my finger behind everything like this, and all I'm going to do is take these carriers off. What I was thinking is, if I wanted to, I could grab my acetate in the meantime. I could have sandwiched this in between, but then that leaves this black area, like if this was on here, and this guy's on here, and that sandwiches that first piece of acrylic. We're going to do twice, because we have acetate on this backside too. Possibly things can get stuck in between, you know what I'm saying, because the glitter's like in here, it can get stuck in between here, and I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to do that. So let me just take all these little carriers off, and I'll be right back. It's just going to be the smallest amount of drop shadow, and you know, drop shadow however you like, whatever direction. I'm going to go a little bit down into, so down and to the right. That's what I'm doing. And there's that. Okay. And then I'll flatten that out. We have our card base, and so now we're going to put little acetate here and there, and I think I had said I was going to remove those carefully, and I didn't, but there it is. Okay, so you have your card base. And again, the card is like 4 by, what is this? 2, 4, 6, 7 and a quarter-ish. Okay, so it's kind of interesting size. But there we have that, and then we have this little guy that's going to go on there, and then we have the decoupaging. But before we get to that, I'm going to stick down some acetate. Now I have these little pieces that cut out, and to be honest, if I just measure against this, I can see that like I can cut this maybe, and if you want to run it through an oval die like that you have, that'd be great. What I'm going to do is just kind of cut around here, give myself a little bit of an edge, and I'll cut 2 pieces just like this basically, and we need one to go behind here, right? So that's pretty good. I'll just remove these other little bits in a minute, and we need one to go on top of here. So again, basically the same size. What I cut ended up being about 2 inches by 3 1/4, 2 by 3 1/4-ish, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna get another one. So like, let's say I'm gonna stick this down here. I'm gonna remove a little bit of this edging because what's gonna happen is when we come to bring this in, it's a little bit smaller, right? So you don't want to put so much out to the edges that when you bring this and put it on top, you're gonna see that clear plastic out on the sides. So let's glue that down. And you can clean off your acetate. This is brand new acetate. It's already getting like stuff on it. And this is just how I'm deciding to make this. You can make this however you like. Okay. So there's that. A little glue, a little stuck down there. And then with this one, same thing, but we're going to glue this to the back side. Let me clean off this acetate. It's a little smutsy for some reason. Okay. I'll be right back. This one I'm also going to trim down and made it a little bit too big. There, and take off a little bit of that rounded edge. You can do it more of a round shape. I'm just cutting it off until I know it fits back here pretty good. And a little more here. Let's see how that goes. That's not bad. Okay. A little bit more right here. Alright. So now I'm going to glue this one down pretty well because we don't want this to move at all. And I'm going to sandwich my shaker stuff in between this front piece and the next piece. So the bulk is on the outside. It's not like towards the inside of the card, right? So it'll be out here. Okay? And I'm going to let this set up just a little bit, but I do need to bring in some foam and line this. And usually I wait till it's a little bit drier, the glue. But what we're going to do is just line this out. And it's a nice big space, so you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm too close or whatever. Okay? Just going around there. And then meet back up on the top here. I was waiting for that to set up. It's probably still a little bit wet, and maybe I should wait, but I always just kind of move on. Let the acetate and all that stuff dry. It takes a little bit longer because obviously acetate's like plasticky and there's nothing to be absorbed, you know. So let me put this over here. And so that's the inside of the card. Looks nice and neat from the back. Shouldn't be a problem. Now I'm going to take the smallest amount of this stuff. If you want to rub this down with like a little one of these guys, an embossing buddy, to help with static, go for it. The only thing is once somebody starts shaking it, it's going to get static again anyway, so I don't even bother with it. But sometimes it helps people so that the sequence doesn't like jump up and stick to everything as you're trying to work with it. But anyway, I just take a little bit. Again, I'm not trying to fill this whole thing up. And then, you know, our decoupage is going to be covering the bottom quite a bit. So I do want a lot of it so it shows, but not so much that it doesn't shake. I don't know. We'll see. This is the Amber Gold Nouveau sequence. So pretty. And then we have the Opal Cream. Probably should add a little bit of red or something, but that's what I'm going with today. And I'm kind of popping it in the center here so I don't lose everything. But having said that, this little Opal Cream has another has a mind of its own today. Okay. And then I kind of just lay it out so it's not all over the place. These little bits, I'm not going to get too worried about it, but there they are. Maybe a little more gold, huh? We have a good... Okay. No? Yes? No? Alright. You don't want to go? Nope. Nope. She ended up on my shirt. Okay, so you always want to make sure the beginning and end of your little foam is touching, or else things are going to fly out of there later. Oh, hello. That's not the only spot. I always try to reserve this for projects where I need to use it, but I want this to be the exact same height as what I just did, and I don't want to go and look in my stash and see if I have little foam bits that are the same height. So I'm going to put some foam, obviously, on these other pieces, and I'll be right back. Last carrier moved, and I just added a little bit. I don't want too much foam in there peeking out of everywhere, you know. So I'm going to place this very carefully. That looks okay. I'm not sticking it down quite yet until I'm happy with how centered it is or whatever. A little more this way. Okay, it's a little bit to the left too much. It's because of my drop shadow, so the black and the red. Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. Alright, let's do that. Let's push this down. Let's flip it over. And give it a good squish from the back. I don't know why I do that, but that's how I do that. And look at how cute. Even in the back, it looks really nice. And how cute is that? Just like that. I mean, obviously you can put the little decorations on the outside. That's adorable. Okay. Now, moving on. That's really cute. And I mean, you can see right through it when it's opened up like this, you know? I think that's adorable. Yay! Alright. These guys, again, when you go to place your dies, let's take this. All you're gonna do is place it on here. Oh, again, the numbers are back. Remember, I was like, oh, the numbers aren't there. So I guess it depends on what they feel like doing that day when they're machining these things, but the number 1 is on there. On some of them they're there, some of them they're not. So anyway, this little bit is supposed to cover the number. So 4, 5, 3, 2, whatever. Each piece has a little thing that kind of juts out, and that's, if you cover the number, supposedly that's the best die cut, you know what I'm saying, without having to make like an aperture or, you know, guess. So like right now I put it here. That looks pretty good, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes it's still a little bit off, that's the only problem, but if you want to, you can definitely make an aperture and then be spot on, okay, if you really want to. This guy has a white edge, and everything has like colored edge, so like even if you're off a little bit, it's not too bad. The white edge, again, leaves much to be desired, but oh well. I think they should just leave it the same color as the paper so it looks pretty instead of having a really harsh edge, but that's what they do. So I'm going to take a moment to go through all of them, and you know, this is number 3, and place it on there, again, covering that little dot. You know, even if you cover the dot, let's say you're down here or like over here, you're going to be a little bit off, but again, you have that coloring all around that helps it not look so obvious. Okay, so I'm going to stick them all down, run it through, and I'll be right back. And again, I don't use all the decoupage because I just keep my decoupage very light and airy and simple. So we'll have pieces for something else, or if you already know you're not going to use it, then just don't cut it, you know. But I'll be right back. I ran these through my Platinum 6, but if you only have like the marquee, just cut it out. Cut this like right here, and you can run that piece through, or sorry, here. So run this piece through and then run this piece through the marquee, and it'll be just fine. Look how cute that bow is. Oh my gosh. Just lovely. Okay, well, I'm gonna get all my little pieces out. The other thing this does is also embosses, so not only does it cut, but it gives that texture to your stamped images, to this image. Let's see if I can show you. Oh, right there. See, like, the roundness there. It's around there. Just something more tactile. Really nice. Okay, I'll be right back. Hey guys, so we have all this pretty stuff. Now, typically, you have this guy, and then we would put this guy, who's the next smallest. This is a really pretty image. Oh, look at the star anise. So we put this guy, and then this guy, and then this, which for me is just a lot of layers. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe from this guy go to this one, and then the bow. Actually, that's very little, but that works out for me. Maybe I should this guy, bow, and not this one. Yeah, that works for me. Okay, so these images are kind of big, so it's not like we need the smallest little tabs, so that's good. Maybe on his little, this part you might want to support it somehow, but where this might be kind of weird, but I have this foam from the other day from the oh, did I show this one already? Yeah, from the spider web. From the, I was looking for my scissors. From the die and press spider web. And you can recycle this stuff. So I'm not trying to, you know, just put it on any old thing. Like, I'll cut it nicely. And what I like about this is that the profile of it is not super high. I don't know if you can see that. So this will work very nicely for our purposes today. So I'm going to put that there. I was going to put another piece this way. Maybe we'll use it for here. From there to like there. Very good. And like these little extra bits, I might cut this down a little bit nicer. Put that to the side. So I'm going to take a moment to just cut this stuff up and put it where I think it belongs. Like in here, I'll put a little bit out here and here. Oh, why did I do that? I don't know. So maybe right here. And I will be right back. I'm not going to do this one. This one I'm just going to glue, I think, in the middle and just pop it up a little bit like that. Okay? So I'll be right back. So I guess I could reinforce that a little bit more too. Maybe I will add another little piece here. I'm just not a huge fan of just adding a ton of foam. So I did this very strategically. The little candy cane's on his own though. So we'll bring this over here. And I'm just kind of lining up that bottom part before I really push it down. Look at that. I mean, that is so pretty just on its own. I mean, you don't have to get super wild with all this, you know, decoupaging. I do like, again, that low profile of that foam. And place that. Look at that. Yeah, definitely. And honestly, even if I had added the third, fourth layer, I guess fourth layer, wherever it went, this guy, it wouldn't be the biggest deal. But it's just... I like to keep things a little bit more low profile. But this card's already kind of out of control anyway with the foam, right? With the shaker card. And then there, I'm going to put that. Okay, and that one, I'm just going to put a little glue in this very middle and just leave it kind of popped up. And then we're going to bring this to our card base. So just a little bit popped up like this. Maybe I should put a little glue on these guys too, just to keep them safe. At the very bottom, a little zhuzh here. Alright. There we go. I'm going to clean up and bring back the card base. I think Craft's Companion, I was going to say recently, but really it's these holiday ones. They did a really good job of not making the decoupage too wild, because like even the poinsettia, it had different pieces, but they were like on the same layer. Like it would be like a little poinsettia here, a little something here, a little bit. It's the same level, right, as you built it up. So that was nice. But anyway, so I think I'm going to put that right on there, and that will be my crown jewel. Look at that. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I just love the typical like Christmas like this, the different things that are on there. So cute. Okay, what did I do with my glue? I was like, I just had it. Let's bring that back out. And it looks like it touches. I mean, I will glue it here. Obviously all this. Maybe more towards the inside because I don't really know where it ends. And you know, where do you want to place it? Because this is going to be touching your countertop or whatever. So let's bring that up just a little bit. Just about there. I'm gonna let it set up for a minute before I check it. I'm gonna check to see that, you know, it's not interfering, and then I'll move it up just because I know I have a few seconds to play with this because this is so metallic right here. But I'm gonna let that set up just a little bit, and then I'm just gonna put it up right just to make sure it's not obstructing. Okay, I'll be right back. Very good. So we're looking at the white, you know, to see. And when I popped it up, it was a little bit up. I can see the white paper wasn't touching the surface, so all I did was kind of manipulate this until it did. And there we go. So nice and straight, not obstructing, so pretty, a shaker. I mean, what else? And then, you know, the little bits kind of hang on there so you can still see it, and then when someone gets it, they go, oh, they can shake it. This is really cute, you guys. I should do this more often. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I'll have the links in the description box of images coming up, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.